Miss Fran, Miss Rachel.
Happy Halloween!
Dead leaves, seaweed, or rotten eggs too. Stir them in my witch's brew. I got magic, alakazam-a-kazoo. Spiderweb, moldy bread, monkey mud too. Stir them in my witch's brew. I got magic, alakazam-a-kazoo. My witch's brew. What's it gonna do to you? Woo! Floor wax, thumbtacks, purple, pink too. Stir them in my witch's brew. I got magic, alakazam-a-kazoo. Fingernails, lunch pails, apple cores too. Stir them in my witch's brew. I got magic, alakazam-a-kazoo. My witch's brew. What's it gonna do to you? Wrinkles, runes, mushrooms, and motor oil too. Stir them in my witch's brew. I got magic, alakazam-a-kazoo. Yeah, yeah, I got magic, alakazam-a-kazoo.
Alright, kiddos and grown-ups, we are going to be reading Winnie and Wilbur, Winnie the Witch. This is by Valerie Thomas and Korky Paul. So go ahead and grab your books and read along with me.
Alright, kiddos, for this story, every time you see Wilbur go across the screen, I want you all to meow just like a kitty cat. Alright, you ready? Here we go.
Winnie the Witch lived in a black house in the forest. The house was black on the outside and black on the inside. The carpets were black. The chairs were black. The bed was black, and it had black sheets and black blankets. Even the bath was black. Winnie lived in her black house with her black cat Wilbur. He was black too, and that is how the trouble began. So there's Wilbur. When Wilbur sat on a chair with his eyes open, Winnie could see him. She could see his eyes anyway. So what color are Wilbur's eyes? You guys find him on the chair? But when Wilbur closed his eyes and went to sleep, Winnie couldn't see him at all. So she sat on him. See him there all squished? Uh-oh. When Wilbur sat on the carpet with his eyes open, Winnie could see him. She could see his eyes anyway. But when Wilbur closed his eyes and went to sleep, Winnie couldn't see him at all. So she tripped over him. See that? And there her hat's going flying. Oh, poor Wilbur, I think she kind of hurt him. One day, after a nasty fall, Winnie decided something had to be done. She picked up her magic wand and waved it once. All right, so we're all gonna pick up our magic wands and say, Abracadabra! And Wilbur was a black cat no longer. He was bright green. All right, say it again. Abracadabra. And there is green Wilbur. Now, when Wilbur slept on a chair, Winnie could see him. When Wilbur slept on the floor, Winnie could see him. And she could see him when he slept on the bed. But Wilbur was not allowed to sleep on the bed. No, 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 naughty kitty. So Winnie put him outside on the grass. And when Wilbur sat outside in the grass, Winnie couldn't see him, even when his eyes were wide open. So why is that? Why couldn't she see him even with his eyes open? She could see him all the other times when his eyes were open. That's because his eyes are the same color, right? Green eyes, green grass, can't see him. And when Winnie came hurrying outside, she tripped over Wilbur, turned 3 somersaults, boom, 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 and fell into a rose bush. Ouch! That looks like it really hurt. This time, Winnie was furious. She picked up her magic wand and waved it 5 times. All right, we're gonna pick up our wands and wave it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And say, abracadabra. And Wilbur had a red head, a yellow body, a pink tail, blue whiskers, and 4 purple legs. But his eyes were still green. And now Winnie could see Wilbur when he sat on a chair, when he lay on the carpet, and when he crawled into the grass. And even when he climbed to the top of the tallest tree. So there's Wilbur sitting at the top of the tallest tree. And Wilbur climbed to the top of the tallest tree to hide. He looked ridiculous, and he knew it. Even the birds laughed at him. Oh, look at those birds, they're so mean. They were saying, ha 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 ha, look at all those colors. And Wilbur was miserable. He stayed at the top of the tallest tree all day and all night. The next morning, Wilbur was still up in the tree. Winnie was worried. She loved Wilbur and hated to see him so miserable. Aw, she's so sad, isn't she? What do you think she should do to make Wilbur happy? Let's see. Ooh, then Winnie had an idea. She waved her magic wand. Okay, let's wave our magic wand and say abracadabra. And Wilbur was a black cat once more. And he came down from the tree purring. Can you guys purr? And then Winnie waved her wand again and again and again. Let's do it. Ready? Abracadabra! Now, instead of a black house, she had a yellow house with a red roof and a red door. The chairs were white with red and white cushions, and the carpet was green with pink roses. The bed was blue with pink and white sheets and pink blankets. And the bath was a gleaming white. And now Winnie can see Wilbur no matter where he sits. So now she doesn't have anything black in the house, right? And that's the end of Winnie and Wilbur, Winnie the Witch.
Okay, friends, today we're gonna read the book of The Great Pumpkin Contest by Angie Rozelaar. Let's open the book. The leaves were beginning to change color. The air had become brighter and colder. And with the change in seasons from summer to fall, It was time for Cat County's Great Pumpkin Contest. In this little county lived two cats as different as could be. Mimi spent her days inside, reading stories about cats who were bold, smart, and loved. Sometimes she wishes she had a friend. Clara preferred to be outside tending her garden and having tea parties. Both wanted to win the first prize ribbon in the Great Pumpkin Contest. Earlier that summer, Mimi had read all the books and she formed a plan. She found the sunniest spot in her garden, made sure it was away from the wind, added just the right plant foods, and then dug tiny holes and planted her pumpkin seeds. Look, that's her pumpkin seeds. She waited, and waited some more. Until one day, yippee! Guess what happened? A tiny sprout had appeared. Soon there were vines and then flowers. Do you know what color is pumpkin seed flower? Next door, Clara had happily planted her pumpkin seeds all over her garden. Before long, her pumpkin patch was filled with lots and lots of little pumpkins. Look, these yellow flowers are the pumpkin flowers. Look, who's that? That's Mimi. Clara picked at Mimi's pumpkin patch. There was one pumpkin that was getting very big and round. Where is it? Is that one? Wow, said Clara. Your pumpkin looks amazing. How did you make it grow so big? I've read lots of books, said Mimi. Very smart, said Clara. She went back to tend her crop of little pumpkins. Mimi's pumpkin continued to grow and grow and grow. Wow, look how big is the pumpkin. Clara's pumpkins grew too. Look, they got bigger, right? Soon it was time for the Great Pumpkin Contest. But how was Mimi going to get her enormous pumpkin to the fair? She tried to push it and pulling it. But it was just no use. The pumpkin was too big. If only there was another way. Look, Mimi's a little sad. Ta-da! A wheelbarrow. It was perfect. Look, where is it? Look, she put the pumpkin on the wheelbarrow. Mimi rolled her gigantic pumpkin onto the cart and set off for the fairground. She couldn't wait for everyone to admire her very big pumpkin. Clara stacked up some of her beautiful little pumpkins and headed to the fair too. She was also very proud. The road into town was bumpy. The pumpkin wiggled and jiggled. Soon, Mimi's giant pumpkin began to tip. It teetered and tottered and... Look out for that pothole, Mimi. Did you see a pothole on the road? It's right here, but I don't think Mimi saw it. Rolled right off that rickety cart with an enormous thump, splat, kablooey. The whole town was covered in Mimi's giant, gloopy, shroopy pumpkin. Mimi was horrified. She ran back home and hid. Oh no. There were pumpkin guts everywhere. Who would ever want to be my friend? Later that day, Mimi heard a knock on her door. It was Clara. I brought you a pumpkin, even though it's not so big. Maybe next year you could show me your pumpkin growing secrets, she said. Mimi slowly smiled. Yes, I would like that. Mimi sat and stared at Clara's pumpkin, and soon she formed a new plan. What's the new plan? Look, what do you think she was doing? She had a spoon And she maybe like has a kitty knife. The next day, Mimi went down to the fair. She had a surprise for Clara. Oh, look at Clara's face. What is the surprise? Look, a first prize pumpkin they could enjoy together as friends. Look, Mimi carved 2 little kittens on the pumpkin. Now, do you have a pumpkin at home? Is it small or is it big? And on the last page is the life cycle of a pumpkin, from the seed to sprout to flower, then green little pumpkin to an orange pumpkin. Can you draw the cycle of a pumpkin's life? Maybe with your parents. Okay, that's the story of the Great Pumpkin Contest.
Hello everyone, today we're going to read The Day of the Dead, El Día de los Muertos, a bilingual celebration, written by Bob Warner and translated by Teresa Mueller. Teresa Mueller translated the words from English to Spanish. The Day of the Dead, El Día de los Muertos. We celebrate our ancestors on the Day of the Dead. El Día de los Muertos honramos a los antepasados with offerings of flowers, sugar skulls, and bread, con ofrendas de flores, calaveras de azúcar y pan horneado. We make tacos, empanadas, mole, and treats. Hacemos tacos, empanadas, mole, y platos deliciosos. Smell incense that burns smoky and sweet. Quemamos incienso con ese olor maravilloso. Before we go out, everything must be done. Hay que tener todo listo antes de la partida. Pack up our bundles before the setting sun y empacar bien las cosas mientras hay luz del día. Under twinkling stars and the moon glowing bright, bajo estrellas que brillan y una luna muy clara. Light the candles that flicker with soft yellow light. Encendemos las velas amarillas y blancas. Mark a path for the spirits with the petals of flowers. El camino a los espíritus indicamos con pétalos de flores que cortamos. We dance, sing, bailamos y cantamos. And remember the loved ones for hours. Y durante varias horas a nuestros seres queridos recordamos. Celebrate our ancestors on the Day of the Dead. Honremos a los antepasados en el Día de los Muertos. We smell the sweet flowers as we lie down for bed. Y cuando a dormir nos retiramos, el dulce olor de las flores aspiramos.
All right, well, I hope you all enjoyed those stories. The crafts and donuts video is next, and I will see you all there.